Hi, everyone, and welcome to Savant's Fall webinar. A huge thank you to all you who have joined live today. I'm Barry Burns, co-founder and head of customer success here at Savant Labs, and I'm joined by my fellow co-founder, Matthew Mesher, who leads our product organization. Today, we'd like to share our progress on what we see as the future of analytics, an agentic OS designed to bring AI-powered data analysis, automation, and governance together in one seamless experience. We're excited to show you what that actually looks like in our product today and how it's redefining the way enterprises use AI to power decisions. Matt's going to be driving most of the presentation, so without further ado, Matt, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Barry. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm super excited today to tell you about Savant's Agent OS for the intelligent enterprise, which for the first time is fusing together structured and unstructured data intelligence for modern business teams. Barry, as analysts, we've always been limited by the data we can see in spreadsheets and databases. But businesses run on documents, they run on emails, they run on chat, PDFs, slide decks, you name it, right? I don't think I've ever seen a business that's not completely dependent on Microsoft Office and Google Drive, Adobe, and on and on and on. And finally, we're able to unlock that same business knowledge and data with Savant Agentic Analytics OS. So now with Savant, analysts can take the same capabilities and tools they're used to for analytics, our connectors, our automation, our scheduling, our orchestration, and combine those with cutting-edge, powerful AI agents, all in a fully governed way with human-in-the-loop guardrails and full ease of mind. With that, I think let's jump in and show you all what we have. First thing I want to show is this vision agent. I think it's really going to be a complete game changer for people trying to use analytics capabilities for this 90% of data and information we traditionally haven't been able to process very well. So first example I want to show you is a simple one. This is a bank statement. Looks just like your normal bank statements. It has all your summary information at the top. It's got a whole page of legalese in the middle of it, and then on to all of your transaction line items. And if you're going to process this using traditional techniques, you probably have to do something called OCR. You might have to spend a few hours, up to a few days, building a pretty rigid template to try to pull all of this out. It's a cumbersome process. It's a brittle process. And this is where Savant's AI agents are complete game changers. And now all I need to do is throw on this vision agent and throw on a simple prompt asking it to extract information. I can do all of this in under 1 minute, right? Hours, days, weeks of work are gone. And instantly I'm pulling out information from my PDF. I'm pulling out the date of each transaction. I'm pulling out that description information, the amount, on and on. But because this is an LLM brain behind it, I can do so much more than just extract information now. Now in the same step, I can actually go in and I can start to analyze these messy descriptions I'm used to seeing in my bank statement. So in this case, I see Microsoft from Redmond, Washington. As a human, I can kind of understand what vendor that is. It makes a lot of sense to me. As I go further down, though, I see MSFT in Washington. Again, as a human, I probably can discern that these are the same vendor, but no OCR is going to be able to do that. You'd have to build a tremendous amount of post-processing and data cleaning rules just to be able to sort of sanitize this data and maybe make it usable in your downstream accounting and other processes. But with the vision agent, with the LLM inside it, I can actually ask it to solve this problem for me. I'm just going to say, hey, look at this, all the data in the spreadsheet or in this PDF, and also give me the vendor. And if we look at it, it's now completely able to extract that information like a human would. It gets the easy one right. It gets Microsoft and Redmond. But if I go further down, it's also cleaned up my MSFT records in Washington. It's able to give me the exact same information. So now I'm not only just extracting information like I would in OCR, but I'm doing all that cleaning and post-processing, categorization, and intelligent work that I either need to write all those classic rules for, do lookups for, or just do human analysis on. I'm able to automate that all in the same step of the vision agent. So the vision agent is now taken in a solution that would take me maybe days to weeks to build, and it's given me a full solution to this in under 1 minute. And again, because it has all the same capabilities I just showed you, I can have it do data enrichment as well. The last thing you'll see here is this merchant classification code. I don't know what these things stand for. I'm sure they have a lot of nice, useful information in them. So instead of having to go into a lookup table process and all that work to enrich it, I just also ask the vision agent to pull in the description. And because it's an LLM with a trillion parameter brain, it's seen all these things. It's learned the merchant classification codes for me already, and it's able for every one of my records to apply it. So now I have a lot more context understanding of what this exact specific transaction is. So that's just the first demo. I want to give you a vision. Hopefully you now got a sense of just how powerful and flexible these agents are. But that's just doing it on one PDF. What I really want to talk to you all about is how this is enterprise scale solutions for your business documents. So in this next example, it's not one PDF, but I actually have a folder of PDFs. You could have tens to hundreds of these you want to process at one time. And this would be pretty much undoable in the past. I said, there's things like OCR you use maybe to create these really brittle kind of templates to read and extract information. The problem with OCR and legacy approaches is all these vendor PDFs, these are all invoices, they're all shaped differently. They're all structured differently. So I can't use the same OCR process I built to do Calendly and Google together. I'd have to build completely different processes. So if I have more than a few vendors, this process doesn't scale. Or if Google or Calendly or anyone else changes the structure of their invoice, my solution I've created breaks and I have to go back and retemplate it. What's so amazing about these agents is they have scalability and flexibility to them. So I can scale this at enterprise scale and have my solution work seamlessly. So in this case, I've used Savant to connect to my folder of invoices. I plop on the same vision agent. I put in a simple prompt where I'm asking it to extract information, and it's now going across all of my PDFs, and it's actually pulling out information for all of my PDFs. So it's getting me all that vendor invoice extraction. And then it's also doing one other step for me here as well. Because again, it has that agent brain. I can ask it to do AI tasks at the same time. I'm actually asking it to classify and categorize all of my invoices. So it's smart. It knows my Google invoice, for example, it's going to go into this IT category I've asked it to do. So this is just a simple example. I have, 4 toy categories here. Your business probably has a lot more categories for your invoices. You put them all in here and you let the AI go and auto categorize your work. Fully scalable, right? This is meaning you can take tons of manual work and you completely automate it at enterprise scale.
Matt, I'll stop you there for a second. I mean, processing hundreds or thousands of documents at once through this begs the question, how you can trust that it's returning the accurate data across all of those PDFs.
Great question, Barry. There's a few things here. We've worked really hard at the trust, robustness, reliability problem with LLM. So first thing I want to show, if we go back to this last example, we actually had a great conversation with a customer a few weeks ago. On this exact question. And we looked at this exact example and we went through and we counted the number of records in this bank statement. And we looked at what Vision did. When we counted here, we got 24 records. Vision comes back with 28 records down here. And we kept going back and forth trying to figure out what was happening. And we assumed Vision was hallucinating. Uh, what actually happened is after we scratched our heads for a while is we realized we had the wrong assumption about the structure of this document. We thought this was all summary information up here, then legalese, then your transactions. But actually, they put the first 4 transactions on the first page. It fooled us humans. It took us like an hour to figure this out. The AI was not phased. The AI got it completely right. Because we built in a lot of really intelligent checks, system prompts, multi-agent checks, all sorts of things into Vision, into all of our agents. They're actually incredibly trustworthy and reliable. But even so, it's still best practice to put human in the loop guardrails into your processes. And this is what's so amazing about what we've done at Savant. We're not just giving you single shot AI agents, but we're combining that with the same analytic tools you're used to having. So you can build your human in the loop processes to do all of your checking on these processes as well. So in this case, when I'm using Vision to extract from invoices, I'm not only extracting the line items, I'm actually also asking Vision to extract the summary number, the total invoice amount from the top page. And I'm having that come in here. So I have my line item amounts here, and I have my invoice total amount here. And now all I need to do is use Savant to do a quick checksum. Do these add up to what the invoice total is? And that's going to help me validate for all of my documents that I've extracted the right information. I build my validation rules in. If there's any exceptions, I can send them down this path for human in the loop validation and exception handling. In this case, there are none, right? Usually you'll see absolutely none here, but it's always good practice to still have your guardrails in. And then now that I can know I can trust this data, it's fully accurate, I can keep pushing it on to the rest of my processes. So in this case, I'm processing invoices and I'm syncing that information to my ERP and SAP. Right. So that's about the trust and the guardrails and the reliability of your AI agents in Savant. Now, I want to show you a little bit more just of how powerful this is, because I think this is going to really be a game changer for us analysts in terms of the type of projects and solutions we can build. It's going to allow us to really use our creativity to unlock and expand the art of the possible here. So in this case, here's a real Apple SEC filing. And what I first thing I want to show you is it has charts here. And let's say there's really interesting information, important analytics information about Apple's net sales and operating income year over year in these graphs. This would be much harder to extract with OCR, right? You may or may not, it may not be possible using existing techniques to reliably extract this type of information. With Vision, I can just ask it to extract. It can look at both graphs. I'm going to have it ask it to look at both graphs and extract it into one table for me. And it can do that in incredibly short, simple little prompt here. So that's the first thing it can do. It can look at your charts and it can start to extract data, but it can also do inference like a human would looking at your charts. So in this next example, Apple's given us their revenue and market cap compared to peer groups. And if you look closely here, I don't actually have numbers for all these peers, right? Microsoft is somewhere between 77 billion and 313 billion in this chart. They don't give me the number to extract. I, as a human, have to use my brain and try to figure out where Microsoft falls in that line. No OCR would ever be able to produce this problem, right? Be able to solve this. But Vision is completely unfazed. I asked Vision to extract it to infer where these companies fall in the line. It's able to look at both the revenue table and the market cap tables at once and put all this information together for me. And it looks at it and says, you know, Microsoft, it looks like it's about at 198 between those two values. So it's able to actually infer and start pulling out this information. So again, this is hopefully giving you just a taste of what's possible with Vision. There's so much more you can do with it now with using this AI reasoning in your workflows on unstructured information. And to give you one last little example, this is one my engineers have come up with. I don't really know what a capybara is. They
Oh,
love them.
come on, Matt. They're the world's largest rodents. They're like 150-pound, really zen golden retrievers. Excellent
There
swimmers.
you go. I'll let you know, Barry.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, our AI knows. You can actually ask Vision to start telling you information about the capybaras. Vision's unfazed and knows all about capybaras, and it's actually trying to analyze the image itself and give me information. So it's telling me the size, the color, and my favorite part, it's giving me the facial attitude of all these capybaras. So tons of capabilities here with Vision. We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, Matt, on Vision too, can you tell us how this is different than just pasting a PDF or an image into ChatGPT and getting the answer there?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. First thing is the scalability, right? If you wanted to run this like we did over here in an entire folder of invoices, you would need to do that manually one by one. With Savant, putting AI inside our orchestration and automation engine, you can fully scale this across hundreds and thousands of documents at once, right? So huge time savings there. But beyond that, there's a lot of intelligent sub-agent work happening underneath the scenes here. So if you have a particularly large or dense PDF, it might overwhelm the context window that most LLMs can use. It's just too much information for it to process at once. What Vision and all of our other agents actually do is they actually have a complete army of sub agents that put together a plan to execute this thing in a trustable and reliable way. So it looks at the document size, it looks at the document density, and it figures out how to decompose large problems into smaller sub problems intelligently. It figures out where the logical boundaries are. It doesn't make arbitrary decisions on where to split documents. It actually looks at how documents are shaped, how information is shaped, how to subdivide it, and it farms it out to sub-agents who are then going to do the precise tasks. And then it's going to get that information back. It's going to validate that all that information makes sense and fits together and reassemble it for you. So, you know, that's something, this is a whole agent engine underneath Savant, right? And not an LLM wrapper. So hopefully, get in there, try it out. It's going to be, I think, a complete game changer compared to what you're used to playing with a lot of these LLM chat clients. Great. Now let's actually put it all together. I've just been going through Vision, but Savant has an entire suite of these AI agents and these rule agents and analytic tools you're used to. So here's a simple example where I'm pulling in transaction data, customer information, and some territory data coming from different systems like a database, Excel, and a PDF. I'm pulling these all in using Savant's hundreds and hundreds of connectors to all your file systems and your databases, and then all of your business apps that all your teams use. And the last thing I want to point out here is we also have connectors in to all your favorite LM services. So Anthropic, OpenAI, Google Gemini, etc. And why is that important? Well, the next question I usually get about these AI agents is, what is the AI being used underneath the hood here? And so what we do with our agent engine is we allow you to pull in your approved favorite LLM of choice for your business. So you probably have IT and InfoSec teams that have approved certain preferred vendors for you. So you use those connectors like you would use those connectors to connect to your Snowflake data and connect to your Excel and your PDFs. You also use those connectors to connect to your favorite LLM service. And then when you're using Vision, you can come in here, and if you put in your LLM service, you'll actually see the LLM provider here, and we'll use your own LLM provider with our agent engine to run all these agent capabilities. So here's Vision. It's pulling out from this PDF the sales territory information. I'm also, again, pulling in sales transactions from Snowflake, pulling in some customer master data. The next agent I really want to highlight is our Fuse agent for AI match. So here I have this problem where coming out of my Snowflake database, I have all these customer names, but I don't have their legal names. What I have is sort of the account colloquial brand name as we usually know these companies. And for my analysis here, my financial analysis, I actually need to map this up to the legal entity level of the company. And I have here my customer master with just that, the legal entity. But one problem is there's companies like Alphabet Inc. here, and then that shows up like Google here in my sales transaction data. How do I match these up? If I did traditional fuzzy match, they would not match because these are just completely different sounding words, right? There's no shared token parts or anything like that. So fuzzy match existing capabilities completely fail. That's why we have the Fuse AI match. And what it has is an LLM brain that does a state-of-the-art concept match. So it looks at these entities not as do they sound similar, but are they conceptually similar? And it's going to look at your data and blend it together for you with this AI match capability using, again, that trillion parameter AI knowledge. So if you bring knowledge to your data cleaning and your AI matching problem, just like a human would if they compared all of this data. Beyond that, we have things like the Infer agent that can clean data, it can enrich data, all sorts of things. So the next problem I have here is I have messy address data, classic problem, right, in data. Everyone writes addresses different and messy. If you have form fill data, it's a bit of a nightmare. So in this case, I can plop on the Infer agent. I'm going to ask it to standardize and clean my mailing addresses. And here I immediately are getting these nice, clean, well-formatted addresses. And again, because it's an AI, it has a brain, it can do a lot of things for me at once. So a lot of these addresses are missing zip codes, but these are public addresses of public companies. AI will have seen all this. It should know the zip codes. So I'm just going to actually ask it to infer the zip code as well. And here now it's actually not only just cleaning and standardizing and formatting my addresses, it's enriching it with additional information it has as well. So that's Infer. It can do so much. Last thing I'll show you here is not just that cleaning and enrichment of address data, but here's a really fun use case where I have all my sales territories coming out and I have the states of these sales territories. And maybe for my financial analysis, I need to know what the current statewide sales tax is for each of these states. I can go try to pull this information. Tax codes are always changing in real time, so it's a bit of a headache to keep up on it. The good news is governments publish all that information, right? LMs are always getting up-to-date information about this. It's always entering their brain and they're always knowing about it. So it's a great enrichment use case. I just ask Infer to look at these locations and give me the statewide sales tax as well. So I can do categorization, cleaning, standardization, inference, all sorts of things for this Infer agent. It works row by row, does a lot of really powerful, amazing work for me that I could only traditionally do manually. And then finally, I combine it with Savant's entire suite of rules agents for analytics here to blend and data prep and everything else I want to go do with my connectors to then output the results. I can do my classic human in the loop automation notification for bad data, all sorts of things. And now I have a fully built agentic solution that is automatable, that has a rich run history to it. So I can go back and I can audit my work. I can see what agent decisions were made, all sorts of things. And that is the Savant Agent OS.
I mean, that's an awesome demo, Matt. Can you give us a few examples maybe about how customers are actually leveraging these capabilities in real life use cases?
Yeah, that's great, Barry. As you know, we have a lot of customers across HR, finance, legal, supply chain, using these agents to build these really powerful agent flows. Some of my favorite are in tax and accounting. So let me quickly show you all this. They're really, really cool, really powerful. So this is one of my favorite ones. Here's another invoice use case. PDFs coming in from a contractor. They're doing some medical work for me. And maybe I'm a tax specialist, and I know a lot of this work I'm being billed for, I can get an R&D tax credit from the federal government. But it's a lot of work for me to have to read through all of the line items of all these invoices and pick out which of those I can apply towards the credit. So I can completely solve this problem with Vision and Infer. I use Vision to extract all the information from the invoice. And then here's where I think it gets really fun. I tell Infer to use its knowledge of the US tax code to look at all of these records and tell me which qualify for the R&D tax credit and in which category they qualify. So again, this was probably like a project that's just like a full-time job for me, and now I can automate this solution. I can spend my time maybe reviewing and doing sort of the bigger project management work of applying for these credits, tracking my rebates to the government, and all sorts of things. So first one, complete game changer. I love that just the creativity one of our customers had here to use Infer's knowledge of the U.S. tax code to completely automate this process. And then there's a lot of great meat and potatoes use cases across finance and accounting. So here's an example of a pre-built agent solution we have where for financial reconciliation, we're pulling in bank statement data from PDFs. We're connecting to your ERP data, so it could be an SAP, it could be an Oracle Fusion. I'm also connecting to some of my account information coming out of my Workday system. I'm using Vision to pull to process the PDF bank statements. And then I'm using the Fuse agent to AI match and blend that information back together. And then I'm doing a lot more of my intelligent reconciliation with a mix of AI rules and standard analytic rules. And now I can fully blend and build a financial reconciliation agent solution, taking all this data together, pushing journal entries back to my ERP system, perhaps, having again a nice human in the loop path for exceptions and outliers that I want to manually review and be alerted about. So that's a pre-built solution for financial reconciliation. Here's another pre-built agent solution. This one is for accruals. So in this case, if I'm needing to track my accruals for accounting purposes, I can pull in a folder of PDF invoices. I can again connect to my ERP systems like SAP or Oracle and pull in my goods received data, my accounts payable data, and then I can use a blend and mix of my traditional analytic tools with these AI agents like Vision and Fuse and others again to build full accrual processing and updating processes, build my audit packs and all sorts of things. So that's just, again, a quick sample of a few of the pre-built solutions we have in our really big, extensive library of analytic agent solutions. If you're interested, please reach out, and we'd love to go through them with you and find the perfect ones for your team and your business. And that's just some of what we've been working on in our Agent OS. There's a few other really exciting things I want to call out in this release as well. So we talked about the Vision Agent, the enhancements to Fuse and Infer. Showed you some of those pre-built AI agent solutions that go from finance to HR, supply chain, legal, and beyond. We talked a bit about the scalability we built into the platform around AI agents. There's even more, though, to highlight in the agent engine we built with all of this. So Just like I said, we have this whole sub-agent framework for scalability, trust, and robustness in your processes. We also have a memory layer built in as well. So we do a lot of intelligent caching and batching of your processing. So when you turn these things on at scale in production, what you'll actually see is typically a tokens reduction in saving about 60 to 90% versus if you tried to run this all manually one by one through your OpenAI, your Anthropic, that sort of thing. So you're going to see a lot of cost savings on the LLM front. It also means there's a lot of speed and processing improvements because of that caching and batching. So you get greater throughput and all sorts of things. Beyond that, there's one more agent I want to highlight because we're constantly improving it. So, all of us, we typically have work product from a lot of these legacy systems or process and solutions we build elsewhere. We have an AI migration agent. And what that does is it's going to analyze your existing work product and help you build it into Savant automatically as well for you. So it's a great way if you're just getting into Savant to take some of your existing work, move it into the platform, and really start to get the benefits of these new capabilities with existing projects you have. And then last thing I'll mention here as we continue to work on VPC. So if you're an organization that needs data to live within your four walls, you want to split plane deployment, we have VPC options. And we also have, we're always investing deeper and deeper into our integration into ERP systems or finance teams. So if you have SAP, if you have Oracle or others, we continue to do a lot of great work there as well.